All right, 3, 2, 1, boom. Welcome back to Energy Boom 101, live from the studios of the Transparent Barrel, overlooking the beautiful skyline of Boom U. Speaking of skylines, this baby right here, Boom U's skyline, will change significantly. Definitely over the next 10 years, but I bet you'll see the first change maybe in the next year. Who knows what it'll be, but don't be surprised if it's a big building with an energy company's name on it. Also, interesting thing to follow here at Boom U, since it is now pretty much the confluence of crude and cannabis, and we'll get to that later, because on this dispatch, which everyone's lost count of because no one's watching the goddamn show, but on this dispatch, I'm simply going to read you an article from a gentleman that was posted on Seeking Alpha. He appears to understand the game pretty well, that game being the cannabis sector, which is now on fire, no pun intended, on Wall Street. And that's sort of part of the story that we want to attempt to tell here, if we don't go too far off in our scope, too wide, they would say, at Boom U, the crucible of consciousness and the confluence of crude and cannabis. Two cosmic market forces that have been unleashed. And it doesn't take a whole lot to confirm these forces. Go to the Wall Street Journal and read all the energy boom that's going on all the publicly traded energy stocks. And then while you're at it, read about all the cannabis stocks that are getting traded and the mania that's going on there. There's only about 10 of them. And it's in a mania, there's no doubt about it. Think of the dot-com bubble and the bust of the 90s, but it is, as you will hear from this article I will read, an very exciting time if you're wanting to follow the cannabis game as it unfurls. Anyway, the overview of the show is that we attempt to tell you the story of the energy boom that's going on in the United States, because there's a big one, and it's based on oil and natural gas, and it's also based on cannabis, two big booming sectors, and they're really easy to follow on Wall Street. By the way, quick shot of some of the crazy life. There's some crazy life here at Boom U. The kids running around in their craziness. Those minds are on fire here at Boom U. Boom U, minds on fire. This is, by the way, the alleyway where there's a lot of debauchery going on, but we don't cover that here. We might, but I doubt it. Anyway, while we give you a shot of Boom U, I am going to read this really simple article. You can see it right here. I recommend everyone go read this. It is on the Seeking Alpha website. Let's give you a good shot right there, Boom U. And we're basically going to dedicate this show to a very nice, simple introduction and overview, in hopes that you can drop anchor on an understanding of the exploding cannabis sector on Wall Street. And you'll hear it referred to all the time as the budding. No pun intended. It works. Anyway, let's tell you what. We're going to spin you around and let you see this shot. That's a nice one right there. That also looks like a Spanish mission. Sort of got a bit of a good, bad, and the ugly thing going right here. So I'm going to switch hands. I like what's happening there. That's nice right there. Ain't nothing better with that right there. We're going to hold that while I read this article. Capitalizing on cannabis. Key considerations for cannabis stock investors. Kids, you want to go to the Seeking Alpha. This was written January 13th, 2014, 8:05 a.m. Eastern Time. Eastern Time, not Mountain. By a gentleman, and I will probably mispronounce his name, so I apologize. Alan Brockstein, I'm going to guess. Anyway, read this thing. I'm going to read it for you. Here we go. And this is him talking, by the way. 2014 started off with a surge in stocks tied to cannabis. As I detailed last week, volumes and prices soared as new investors poured into the market, induced apparently by a media frenzy over the implementation of Colorado's new legal cannabis program on January 1st. While prices got ahead of themselves, the recent sharp correction has created more reasonable entries in many stocks. My read is that investors should get used to volatility in the sector and anticipate a series of similar surges as the year progresses, with the Washington state legal cannabis implementation, which will likely be in June, the November elections, and perhaps some additional unanticipated events serving as key catalysts. Couldn't agree more with the gentleman. This is great right here. Next paragraph. The proverbial genie is out of the bottle. And I pause for drama. The bull case for the sector is clear and compelling. Quite simply, A triple win for society is in its early stages. I want to repeat this. A triple win for society is in its early stages. What is that triple win? Here we go. Consumers and patients will get what they want or need at higher levels of quality and lower prices. 1. 2. Governmental entities will get much-needed tax revenues and cost savings from eliminating wasteful law enforcement and incarceration expenses. 2. Huge. And 3. Entrepreneurs will create tremendous wealth for themselves and their investors. Now, here's where I'm going to just pull back a little quick here. The cannabis sector may damn well create more wealth over the next 20 years than the crude sector, which no one would believe. But I believe it may be possible, and I can't think of a better way to sleep well at night than becoming filthy bastard-ass rich off trading and investing in cannabis. I don't know. Who knows? Let's see what happens here. Here's the beauty. The game's just begun. We all have time to try and figure this out as I do the patented pivel swivel on the camera here. And by the way, here's one other way we're going to track this thing. Boom U's Michael F. Price School of Business is back there somewhere. If they're back there listening, do me a personal favor. Get you some Osage. Get 3 of the cannabis stocks. Call it tuition, for God's sake. And get ahead of this game. Take the lead. Damn. Here, I got to get back to this article. I am not here today to plead the bullish case in detail, but I have embraced it after months of study, including conversations with industry leaders, private investors, and public company executives. The early 2013 bubble in the publicly traded cannabis stocks attracted my attention, and after careful study, I was able to confidently launch in September an internet-based community of investors focused on capitalizing on cannabis. For those who would like to get a better understanding of the many changes that lie ahead, I suggest reading ArcView's The State of Legal Marijuana Markets, 2nd edition. You gotta love that. That will be delivered this month. For investors who want to embrace the bullish industry outlook for investing in public companies, it is unfortunate that the choices are restricted almost entirely to penny stocks. This being penny stocks, but that's all right. There's plenty of room for the penny. Sirius Satellite was a penny stock. Chesapeake Energy was a penny stock. Get with it, kids. We're going to run this bastard into the ground. All right, where the hell was I, you bastards? Okay, with the exception of GW Pharmacy, which trades on the NASDAQ, but as a biotech offers its own set of risks. The industry is highly fragmented, and the revenues of the publicly traded companies represent a tiny fraction of the legal and medical cannabis markets at present. The bottom line is that picking winners isn't so easy. Many of those most likely to succeed aren't publicly traded yet. A good analogy might be Google, which was founded in '98 but didn't publicly trade until 2004, 2004 IPO. A limited supply of stocks and very strong demand creates a big challenge for investors in the sector. Based on my observations, many of those embracing the theme of cannabis investing are new to investing, often choosing stocks on parameters like the ticker or the name of the company rather than doing even basic due diligence. With this in mind, I wanted to share some basic steps investors can take before diving in blindly. Okay, so go get this thing and read it, because I have a funny feeling this guy knows exactly what he's talking about. And the truth is, the game has just begun, and you can invest a whopping 6 cents, 15 cents, 20 cents, whatever, get $100 worth, call it tuition, and watch these stocks as this sector emerges. And in a year, you'll by the way, we could come back here in a year and I bet you money this skyline has changed. A, this skyline has changed. And B, we all have a much better understanding of the cannabis markets. And if you want to make a few bets now, that's great. But your bets will have much, much better focus and confidence a year from now if you'll just simply follow the market as it's unfurling, because it's in absolute great mode right now. Most of these stocks right here are going up and down anywhere from 5 to 25% a day, which is great. It's volatile as hell, and the market's trying to understand what the hell it even wants. So we can sit back, invest a teeny bit, watch it for a year, and a year from now, its shape will be so much more understandable that the bets from that point on will be much better. And that's how I would play this green boom inside the energy boom. We're about to hit 10 minutes, so I'm about to wrap this thing up. And there's probably a great shot to just sort of wrap up the whole idea behind this ridiculous show in the first place, where we do connect crude to consciousness, one gusher at a time. I doubt that. We do attempt to illuminate the chasm betwixt brain and bean, one gusher at a time, which we think we're doing a pseudo good job at. And a few other great stories we'll try and bring you and we're going to close it out, as we are, live here from, oh shit, you better back off. And you better not ask for whom they told, my friend. I can't think of a better way to sign off than to let the bells of Boom U provide you with what I call a 6-bong lullaby. We might want to trademark that. There was number one.